a good time. Put a smile on your face, yeah. Can be Cam and Elation Radio. Even brighten your day and help you through the night. Bring you good music. Can be Cam and Elation Radio. And here's your host, Kimmy Kim.
Do you have an upcoming event? Well, I encourage you to book Beyond the Fence family for an amazing experience. Beyond the Fence is a talented group of men and women who have toured the world to display their talents of song and ministry. Did I forget to mention multi-award winners? They're your one-stop shop for making your event the best in the city. Book Beyond the Fence today at beyondthefence.org. Click menu, then contact. Beyond the Fence, your audience will thank you.
Beyond the fence.
Beyond the fence.
Beyond the fence.
Beyond the fence.
Benton. DB Junior.
Yes, sir. I got you.
True too. You know I got you. The Jewel.
Broski, you know I had to fly in on this one.
G Will. You know what it is. You see coming like this, didn't you? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. My problem is God slaughtered them all, the harder I ball. Fighting like a scared cat, with her back against the wall. Slip, but I didn't fall. I adapted to the fall. Ignorance, I've been through it. That's why I don't want you to do it. I want to influence, it's already proven. You can be feeling what you is. Come at the land of the ruin. Who are we fooling? What are we proving? What are we doing? What are we building? What are we giving to some of our children? Built a team, not just the industry thing. We do more than this rapper scene. Beyond the fence is a family tree with the queen. We choose to worship with the king. And we protect the women by any means. And our children on everything.
Through the years, I want my own fight, no life. Thinking everything is alright. Turn around and see my father in the light. Back in 03, that changed my whole life. Deceiving, one for the one mother believing. Don't put on the life I'm weeping. They say things happen for a reason. I'm believing, we're fleeing. Still opportunity life I'm bleeding. I'm in the probation taking. Structures in my life do need it. Same friends up and down, can't see it. Get it back to the past, got leaving. I'm a dance of mind, I'm pleased. First rest of procrastinate meeting. A bird of homies out in the heated. Said I'm a loser, I said that I'm meaning. I'm independent, my left with a team. That's fine, I'm always loyal to. Received but Colorado on stills. Received but never stops. And I know I keep preaching one last rise. I never will be this smooth the floor. I won't be defeated.
Swag so magnificent due to the omnipotent. Yes, you know it's heaven sent. Call me George Jefferson. I'm walking in your glory if I keep my eyes focusing. Never turn away from the one who first loved me, man. I go by G Will. I'm in the building, man. Good looking on the head off the game, just advance. My focus so clearly beyond 2020. Thanks to BDF, there's a new addition to the family.
What I got in my music, principle, purpose, so much that they use it. Bruise it, to prove it, no way that I'm losing. Something I do, supposed to delusion. The BDF revolution. Wake up, ain't no more illusion. Concept to the union, we appreciate your contribution. Awaken us, sniff the time, define how bad it hurts. Conduct with metal, touch it, everything they do is in love. Bring it together for the better men. Bring it together, be better men. All of the people in children. Graduate old school veterans. Take over the nation, Taliban. Hold up the world with one hand. Shoot through the vision, it's intense. Looking at what the beyond is.
We are beyond the fence. We are beyond the fence.
With this one, I've seen I've been drafted. Armor's been fitted and heavily crafted. Run to the battle through fire, I blast. I do this for real, pretenders is tragic. Do this a classic. Read the back of the book, there's a test and I easily pass it. All the sacrifice of training, the blood and the tears, I laugh at. Yeah, I'm a cast. I wanna speed it up. The label say slow it down. I skip my medication, tripolars traveling the speed of sound. I'm lost and now I'm found. Love you on the way up and they hate you on the way down. And it's never about the setting, it's the jewels that's in your crown. Judge.
We are beyond the fence.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio. And you better be smiling.
Beyond the Fence is in the building.
Hey, welcome. Yes. Welcome. Yes. Yes, this is your host, your main man, David Benton, and I am in the building. And you know what? I am smiling. Y'all have to excuse my voice. I'm a little under the weather. You know, just came back from Vegas. Yes. Yeah, I had a wonderful time. Before I talk about Vegas, though, you know, we're just gonna get into our weekends. Man, I heard the show last weekend, and it was just awesome. So with that being said, can I get a drum roll? The infamous singer, Coach Shay Samuels, are you in the building?
Shay Samuels is in the building.
I had to catch myself. I was about to say all type of stuff. I was like, hold on. On the radio. My homie, what's happening? I ain't want to do all that. I was about to just go there. Deloise in the building.
Delaware is in the building. Delaware definitely is the building.
Yeah, so Coach Shay. Like I said, you got to forgive me for my voice right now. You know, I've been a little under the weather. So, how was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was phenomenal. Every year, starting last year, we decided that the lady cousins of the group would do something every year, and so this year came up quickly, and this is our second annual Cousins weekend. And this year the theme was Royal Cousins Weekend 2022. So every time we go somewhere, we're dressed alike. We have, we have the same thing on. And to be honest with you, this year was a little different because one of my cousins has a clothing line, apparel called Out of Town Auntie, and you guys will hear more about that for the sponsorships. But we all surprised her and wore the Out of Town Auntie shirts as we traveled. And so when we came in, Coach David, we came in and everybody, I don't care what store we went into, like, what's going on? What's going on? And you know my saying, there's power in numbers. But we showed up and we showed out in supporting her apparel. And this kind of goes along with our topic tonight. But, you know, we got a chance to spend some time together. We got a chance to bond. And nowadays in the world we live in, you don't really get a chance to do that, especially as family. But we know that, you know, family members are leaving this earth left and right quickly. And so we decided to spend more time creating memories, and we hadn't done that in a long time. So my weekend was phenomenal. It was hot. Oh, my God, it was hot. It was hot. But, again, people will be able to see some of those photos on the Beyond the Radio face page, so make sure you go and like that page.
Yes, it looked like y'all having a ball. Y'all was rapping.
We did you had a great idea, but we did do, we saw you guys in Vegas, and we wanted to do something fun. You know, Beyond the Fence, we're all about having fun. We work hard, yes, but we all about having fun. And so although you guys were in Vegas the week before, and I know you'll talk some about that, but we wanted to kind of do what we call the clap back. And so, look, when you don't know how to clap back at people, you just don't do it right. So Coach David was like, if y'all really wanted to clap back, you should have did some Biggie Smalls. But when you don't really know how to clap back, you know, you're not used to clapping back. But we wanted to do something fun, so kind of, you know, mimic what you guys did. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, when we went to Vegas, what it was, you know, guys that I've been knowing literally since 1981. No exaggeration. Some of the guys that I took this trip with, that's how long I've been knowing them. And to just know that we have over 30 years of history was a blessing. And, you know, it was 12 of us.
Y'all
we all graduated together. And we went to Vegas, and we had a good time. We went to the, Las Vegas bought the Raiders. So we went to it feels funny because I'm so used to calling them Los Angeles Raiders. But the Las Vegas Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings preseason game. And it was a good game. It had great seats. Got a chance to spend time with my nephew and my niece and their child, which is my niece, who's a dancer, Ellie Styles. Shout out to Joe Styles. Yeah, and shout out to Go-Go and his wife, for really blessing us. They made a meal for all of us, invited us to their home. We shot the video there. We shot video footage. He let me use the car in the video, and it was just they made the experience so worth it. It was just a wonderful experience. New foods, new restaurants. It was just an amazing experience. And being around, sometimes you got to get out and just be around the people that relates to you the most, and you can just be yourself without judgment, and because everybody know each other, and it just you just go in and just, man, be that kid again. You know what I'm saying? But you're mature. You're more mature with it. More mature.
I got you.
We still those same little kindergartners and first graders. We just matured through it all. But it's like, to us, we haven't changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we all grew and matured together. And some develop more than others. But at the end of the day, it's like we still all in the first grade. Like, it's funny because we telling stories from 1982. I'm not exaggerating. And it's funny. And we cracking jokes and who had the best curl and, who can break dance the best. And remember, this store was here, and it was just a beautiful experience to just kick it with my fellas, and that's what it's about.
I think even more, Coach David, that you guys get a chance to experience this type of life together. You said 12 guys, and the reality of it is men your age don't get a chance to go 12 guys deep anymore, so that was watching your videos and watching what you guys were doing and having the fun that you guys were having. After a certain age, people kind of do change on one another. And so the fact that you guys have that closeness, I hope that other people who saw these videos find reconciliation and restoration in relationships that were lost. Like there has to be some substance to that. So as you were just talking, I was just thinking about the many men who don't have an opportunity to have that experience for a number of reasons, that they would find restoration in that, in those videos that you posted.
Yes, and, Coach Shay, I think it's important for us to just, tell the kings and queens, these men and women of God, the reason we post like this is because we do want to inspire. We do want to encourage. It's really not about the showing out part. Oh, man, and we in Vegas, or we in Florida. We're doing it big. It's not about that. What you guys do in Florida, it's y'all showing how family got to come together. Like, it's important for families to get together despite your differences. And we all have family issues.
Yeah.
We all have family members that we disagree with and all that. But, it was important because you guys came together as a family, and y'all do this every year, and I think that's so healthy. And, for you to put it, on social media, I know your position in it, because even though you taking people beyond their fence, you want to help people walk out their purpose.
Yeah.
So that was necessary. So we just want everyone to know, that's why we post these on social media, because we want to inspire. What we don't want to do is cause damage to our communities. And damage starts in your mind. What we put out there goes to somebody's brain. And that whatever we put in their brain, it can develop. But we want we want to put in your brains, in your mind, your long-term memory, something that could develop into something that's productive, something that's positive, so you can see worth inside you. We're just regular people who know how to navigate, and we live our lives according to the spirit of God's light, and God's light is full of principles, morals, and love. And with that love, you got to have a lot of endurance, which is really patience. Yeah. Why? Because it's long suffering. But you're going to have endurance. You're going to have to keep pushing. You got to keep going. And it kind of go into the segue of really what today's really structured to talk about. And it's like, we quick to say, we're blessed by God and what these blessings look like. And I say this because we do this because we want people to be blessed. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. Jesus been trying to tell the disciples the whole time, y'all keep depending on me, man. It's right there with you. It's inside you. You to one another. Another one to you. Learn how to have allies. Learn how to love one another. Learn how to live in harmony. Like Jesus, Jesus feed them. Why should I feed them? Won't you guys feed them? Mm-hmm. One day I'm going to have to leave, but you know what? I'm going to leave my Holy Spirit with you. What it is, I'm going to leave my teachings. I'm going to leave the spirit of truth, righteousness, endurance, love, patience. I'm going to leave it with you. Why? Because I'm supposed to be an example.
Yeah.
So we bless people. We are their prayers. People bless us. There are prayers. Now, I'm not going to say miracles do not take place. But what I am saying, we only look at miracles. Miracles, we look at it on the surface of saying that's the only way we're going to receive it as a blessing if it got to be this mysterious miracle. When things are miraculous in your life almost every day, you just have to recognize it. And what we want to do right here on Beyond the Radio is help you recognize it. We want to open your mind up to develop something greater that's inside you. We just want to open it up. Let us open it up, please. Can we open it up? Coach Shay, on you, Coach Shay.
Well, I love that as an opener. There are so many things. I think it can be kind of a falsehood when, we say, even as believers, that God will take care of it, or God will do it, or, God will bless me. And we say it a lot on the radio that faith without work is dead. That's Bible. So faith without work is dead. And what people don't know, it's something you taught me a long time ago, Coach David. You said you'll say that certain things fell in your lap. Because I always be like, it just fell in my lap. Like, I'm telling you stories and I don't know what happened. It just fell in my lap. And one thing you shared with me was you worked for it. So there were seeds that were planted somewhere that, that begin to harvest, and I'm reaping the harvest. And so there's a falsehood out there to just think that, God is just going to do it. Like God is just going to come down and lay this plate in front of you of food, or God's going to come down and, just put gas in your tank. There's a responsibility that has to go with that. I want to share that there are, like you said, there are miracles that can happen. Coach David, there's been plenty of times where I've almost ran out of gas in my younger days. I don't have this issue now, but I was helping my daughter today with gas, and I had to share with her. In my 20s, I was always running out of gas. I would ride right past the gas station and run out of gas on the corner of that gas station. How did I do that? I don't know. But I can also tell you that I've taught on the life of reserves. So when whoever created this vehicle, they created the vehicle's gas tank with reserves. And so I did a message before that's God's grace, right? And so there are plenty of times, like I've heard it, people pray their way through, just get me to the gas station, get me to the gas station, get me to the gas station. And like, and they get to the gas station and they say, God got me to that gas station. That is reserved. And so I know on the second half we're going to go into it a little bit deeper, but what we want people to understand is that God ultimately rules. However, the wisdom of God and all that is intertwined in that is what helps us move every single day. It's what helps us grow every single day. It's what helps us to continually be blessed every single day. So I wanted to share that from my heart, because I don't want people to feel that all I have to do is say that God will take care of it, and then when God doesn't take care of it, you're blaming God and not your actual circumstance. There's a reality that's attached to what we do every single day, what we think every day, and how we operate every single day. I got to say how we operate, but how we operate every day. So there are some moments, like you said, in those miracles where, we're praying and we're saying, just get us there, God, just get us there. And you don't know how it happened. It just happened. But it can happen that way as well.
I'll tell you this. When it comes to the miracles, I think that when people read the Bible and they see like the crossing of the Red Sea, or when they see Jesus, walking on the water, or even, leaving the tomb, or you see David beating Goliath, and you see Joseph just be right there, right up under Pharaoh in command. You see the greatness. You see these miracles, and then you have Elijah and Elisha, and he just come down and they just pick him up and just sell out in space somewhere. See, people so used to seeing that, reading that. That's what they look for. The manna falling from the sky. That's what they're looking for. Yeah. But the Bible also says that there was so many miracles that was performed, it wasn't enough to be written. So understand there are miracles that happen in many ways.
Yeah, that's good.
And don't keep looking in the sky for it. See, here's the thing. I think we're being taught how to be really handicapped. I really believe that we're being taught to be handicapped and controlled, and not fair to me. I want to free people's minds. What I'm saying is God is this awesome. God is telling you every day that he gave this planet to you.
Yeah.
This planet is ours. How you navigate it is totally up to you. You can use your righteousness or your unrighteousness. And some people try to cut corners and it become unrighteous. And you know what? You have to pay the price. But when you go in righteousness, but then you got to say, all right, they got a saying, nice guys finish last. Well, if you're the type of person that believes something like that, you're going to always finish last. But if you realize that that's just something people say and they start believing it, then you got to stop believing it.
Yeah.
And say, no, nice people don't finish last. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, because the Bible says the last shall be first. So if you think we last now, we always first. But you have a right to this world, and you have the right to navigate it because God gave you something called a mind.
Yeah.
And you can take that mind and elevate it and mature it and grow. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take consistency. It just depends what you want out of it.
Yeah.
But that's how awesome God is. God created you to do you. God said, I don't want you to be a slave. I want you to be free. The kingdom of heaven is yours. You can create your heaven right here on earth. You don't have to wait till you die to go get a mansion. You can get a mansion. But you can get it responsibly. You can get it righteously and bless others. We can live better than we living right here on this earth. We just got to choose to do it. It's all about choices, and we all think about it. 4 billion people, I'm just guessing, I heard from somebody else, so I'm just, but 4 billion people on the planet, there's 4 billion different mindsets. 4 billion people see the world through their own lenses. 4 billion people just don't agree 100% of the time. This is what we go through in life. We got to understand it's okay. But where your blessing come from, you could, whatever you want in life, you can make it happen because God gave you that ability. But you can, and that's what the righteousness is for. You got to walk in righteousness.
Yeah.
And what that means, your character, maturity, take constructive criticism, put yourself around positive influences and people who's going to help you grow. Don't be around a lot of gossip, negativity. If you really want to win, put yourself around positive and productive winners.
Yeah.
Shay, you want to expand on that?
Yes, I do. One thing that I love is that when one of my cousins actually posted maybe an hour ago, she was saying what she got from the trip. And I love that the growth in all of us is that we would all get together and we would always reminisce on the past. And that was kind of our laughter. Our laughter was, like you said, you guys were reminiscing on the past and having a good time just thinking about the past. And one day I remember thinking that we always talk about the past. How do we get to creating new memories, right? And what I saw this time around was each person, just talking to each person, they added something to the trip, elevated my mind even more coming back. One cousin, we were talking about business. Another cousin, we were talking about family. Another cousin, we were talking, biblically. Another cousin, we were just talking we did talk like music and stuff like that. But it was like each person added value to my life. So when I left, is what you're saying, when I left more aware. I left feeling more resourceful. I left feeling more compelled to want to go out and do something more. And unless you have that in your life, you don't really understand the depth of what God has for you. And you don't understand, I'm purpose driven. So then you don't understand your purpose. So when you go, you said something about being around gossip a lot. It turns my stomach. Honestly, I was on the plane coming back, and there were 2 women sitting behind me, and one woman was younger and the other lady was older. And the whole time that I said I was about to move my seat, but she complained the whole entire time about a place that they had just left. And then the lady who was sitting on the side of her ended up becoming her hype lady. Instead of her, it was like she was repeating what the other lady was saying, but she became the hype lady, And I was thinking in the back, I need to move from this seat because it started turning my stomach. I can't be around it because it doesn't add value. There's a scripture about blowing hot air out, or even, when you're talking, let it be something that's productive. Let it be something that's producing. Let it be something that's going to add to the person. And that's not always the case. That's not always possible. And I know we'll talk about it right after the music break, but I want to encourage you people who are listening tonight, just what David said is that it starts somewhere. So the first part of this is cleansing your mind. Let's get you prepared for the second half. But in this first half, we want to prepare you to cleanse your mind and be ready to receive the remainder of this topic after the music break.
You did. Thank you for that.
I did.
You know. So with that being said, where the music at? Where the
music at?
Where the music at? Where the music at?
Yo, I gotta say a prayer for my friend. Called me up the other morning, 4 a.m. Said he's going through some things in his life, having it hard and hadn't slept in several nights. And he's calling me to help him on his way. If I didn't mind, could I stay on the phone and pray? So I walk into the living room, and Lord, this is what I said to you, 'cause you're the only way. Down and bring peace with it. So I place my trust in you, so pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down. Lord, I raise this up to you and only you can bring the favor down and bring peace with it. So I place my trust in you, so pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down, Lord, yeah. So I got to work so tired, could barely hold my eyes. Then my boss, he called me in the office by surprise. To myself, oh Lord, I put this in your hands. And with fear, I went to him, said, here I am. He said, close the door, I know that you're a praying man. My heart is heavy and I'm in need of counseling. I think I'm about to lose the love of my life. The doctor says she's ill, but I can't lose my wife. Favor down and bring peace with. And so I place my trust in you. So pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down, Lord. I raise this up to you and only you can bring the favor down and bring peace with. And so I place my trust in you. So pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down, Lord. Yeah. Right in my car, don't want my wife to see me cry. Tears feel like they do when I drive by. But I got so much of a burden on my soul, trying to be a light even when these folks will treat me cold. My mind is troubled and I feel I'm getting weak. Now that I'm down, I need someone to pray for me. Lord, I'm calling, there's no water, put my bag again. I need the strength so I can rise and take a stand again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Favor down and bring peace with me. So I place my trust in you. So pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down, Lord. I raise this up to you and only you can bring the favor down and bring peace with me. So I place my trust in you. So pour your blessings down, pour your blessings down, Lord. Yeah. Lord, you're always there for me.
There's so many times in life when you question what God has for you. You know, for every purpose there's a plan. Well, I was that way too. And one day I just decided to move. And I encourage you to do the same thing as I tell you a little bit about me. 17 with 2 babies outside. Nearly had me going crazy outside.
I never thought I'd see the sunshine again. So I just kept on pushing, but you gave me life, you gave me hope, you gave me everything. You gave me life, you gave me hope. This is the song I sang. About the age of 27, I knew what I would be. What people didn't see in me, you saw a masterpiece. Growing up in this cold, cold world, walking around with so much shame. I wasn't popular in high school. People barely even knew my name. But you gave me life. You gave me life. You gave me hope. You gave me hope. You gave me everything. Whoa. You gave me life. You gave me life. You gave me hope. You gave me hope. You gave me everything. Our mama worked so many jobs just to make ends meet. We never wanted for nothing. We always had a good meal to eat. Always thought we had it made by the clothes we wore. But she just kept on pushing us. She knew that there was so much in store. 17 with two babies, nearly had me going crazy. I never thought I'd see the sunshine again. So I just kept on pushing, but you gave me life, you gave me hope, you gave me everything. You gave me life, you gave me hope. This is the song I sang. I always knew life could be this good. Just didn't know how I would get there. I always knew life could be this good. Just didn't know how I would get there. I could have lost my mind 10 years ago. A single mother with 2 kids, with plenty of gold. I made it. I didn't think I could. I made it. I didn't think I would. I made it. Don't you ever give up. I made it. Don't you ever give up. Hold me down. I made it. Don't you ever give up. Every test and trial, I made it. Don't you ever give up. I made it. Ba-ba-da-da-da.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio.
Welcome to Beyond the Radio, and you better be smiling.
Beyond the fences in the building.
That's right. Welcome back to Beyond the Radio with your host, your main man, Coach David Benton, and I'm your co-host, Shay Samuels. And if you are just tuning in, we are talking about a plethora of things, specifically getting you to identify one with your purpose and that God is blessing you, but you have to put in the work. Before we go into the second half, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Paula G. Voice, Lady Wisdom After Midnight. If you heard that commercial in the beginning, yes, that's Paula G. Voice. If you are looking for a voiceover for your business, if you are an artist and you want someone to speak professionally about your music, if you are a program director at a radio station or a music director and you want to have someone professional do your infomercials, look, we said it at the top of the year. It's time to provide your audience some quality work. Look Paula G. Voice up at paula@paulagvoice.com or paulagvoice.com and tell her that Beyond the Fence family sent you. We have to give a great big shout out to our DJ G Will. G Weezy is what I call him. If you are in the market for a DJ for any of your business needs, if you are having a party, bar mitzvah, wedding, whatever it is, even if it's virtual, look up DJ G Will at beyondthefence.org. That's BEYONDAFENCE.org. outouttafence.org, and let him know that the Beyond the Fence family sent you as well. Our newest sponsor, shout out to Out of Town Auntie. That's OUTTA Town Auntie. You can find the information on the Beyond the Radio Facebook page. Make sure you go ahead and like that page. If you are taking a end-of-the-year trip, we want you to look up Out of Town Auntie and have you and all your girls and all your aunties in this apparel, from duffel bags to T-shirts, you name it, they have it at outoftown.auntie.org. Again, you can find the information on our Facebook page. And last but not least, David, can I get a drum roll?
Hip hop parade, oh, hey, oh, hip hop parade, oh, hey.
I love it. Let's Talk Business Consulting Strategy and Coaching Group, LLC, a Beyond the Fence expansion company. If you are looking to expand your business, if you are a company and you're looking for seminars and workshops on leadership, let's talk business. We have exactly what you need, and you can look us at aboutbuildingleaders@gmail.com and on Facebook at Let's Talk Business. Before I hand it back over to David, I do need to let you know the two songs you heard on the music break was Lord I by Beyond the Fence artist G. Will and About Me by yours truly, Shay Samuels. You can get them on all digital outlets. Coach David, back to you.
Yes. Thank you, Coach Shay. So, yes, we left off at, what we really talking to you guys about, like Coach Shay was saying, we want you to also just recognize when you're being blessed and stop looking for the walking on the water, the parting of the Red Sea. Those things happen differently today. You might not get a parting of the Red Sea, but you might get a pardon.
Come on, Coach David. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, the stimulus check, right? The stimulus check, it came, and it's like, what did you do with it? See, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
That was a blessing right there. So it's like, what did you do with the stimulus check? Did you invest it the right way, or did you just spend it on something frivolous?
I like it.
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
That you really didn't even expect.
Yes.
I like it. We didn't see it coming. But it came. We didn't earn it. Feel we deserve something, some type of way.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect that thing to come. So when it came unexpectedly, was you prepared for it?
Right.
But we got to know when that blessing is a blessing. And the thing is, when you can't handle a blessing, who else can you blame besides yourself? But
right.
We trying to open you up tonight to recognize your blessing versus this big miracle that you're actually waiting on.
Yeah.
Coach Shay?
Yeah, I think to your point, one thing I had to learn is blessings happen every day. You hear people say when they got in the car and they ran late, like the alarm clock went off late, and you hear people say, my alarm clock went off, you didn't know what happened, but then you got down the road that you would typically take and there was a huge accident, and you start thanking God for saving your life. Like, Lord, I thank you for saving my life. That's a miracle. That's a blessing, because it could have been you 2 seconds earlier. And then there's that those opportunities when you're at your job. I've experienced this myself where when I was working full time for a company, I can tell you, like, I got called into the office one time and got a promotion. Nobody knew that promotion was going to happen, but I can tell you what was going on in my life at that time. And that's why it was considered a blessing. I had just moved into a house. I was paying way more than I had been paying the whole time I had been here in Georgia. I wasn't afraid of how I would pay it. It was just like, what am I going to do at this point? And then only a month later, I got a call to come in to another state to get this promotion, which of course ended up giving me a raise. So those are things that I consider blessings to me. And what I want people to do tonight is just think about those things. You know, Philippians 4 reminds us to think of things that are true, noble, kind. Think of things that are praiseworthy. And sometimes we miss the blessing because like you said, we're looking for this big miraculous miracle. We're waiting for the Red Sea to part. We're waiting for the walk on water experience. We're waiting for, angels to come down and sit on our sofa and tell us what thus saith the Lord. But our reality is, even in Genesis said, let us make man and let us make man like us, right? And let us give the man dominion of the earth, like you just said earlier, Coach David. So we have the dominion to create. We have the dominion and the power and the authority to do what needs to happen here on earth. But for some reason, you always say it, Coach David, we get lazy. We get a bit lazy. And instead of moving, that ends up becoming covetousness, jealousy, green, bitter towards the people who are actually moving, right? So now we're walking in another spirit. Now we're walking in another avenue. Now we're walking outside of our own purpose when God has created us to do so much more. Your blessing is in the work. We hear it all the time. Faith without work is dead. So your blessing is in the work. When you're working it, you begin to connect with new people. When you're working it, you begin to think better thoughts. When you're working it, some people would say, I'm minding my business, but my business is this. And then you meet people who are like-minded. You ever go to school, college, or you begin to work, or even just as you begin to shift your mind, you go around different people, and all of a sudden your mind starts shifting without you even knowing it. Listen, The Bible says bad company corrupts good seed. So what can good seed bring to good seed? But even better seed, right? So we have to be mindful that the blessing is in the work. Coach David, you always say this. You say, a job is just not going to fall in your lap. Here's what can happen. You got up one day, you went for a job interview. You know for a fact that you thought you aced that job and you never got it. You go to a Zaxby's, a Wendy's, a McDonald's to get your lunch, and because you're dressed the way you are, someone looks at you and they say, well, what do you do? And you say, well, I just left an interview. I'm looking for this. So tell me what you do. And they're talking to you, and you end up getting a job from that person. You've not gotten dressed in the beginning to show yourself approved for another company. You would have never found a company that was going to pay you $32,000 more.
Right.
The blessing is in the work. Back to you, Coach David.
Yes. And it just helps us to really, open our eyes up. That's when we have to self-reflect. Sometimes, we get outside ourselves. Sometimes we have to come to our quiet place, get in your prayer closet. And the thing about it, when you pray, don't get up and go. Wait for an answer. Because now that's when you're at your meditation stage. You think Jesus was just praying and talking the whole time? Or do you think he was receiving? Understand, when Moses went up on the mountaintop, he received messages, right? He received it. He received the Torah. He received the commandments. So he went on that mountain for 30 days. He didn't do all the talking.
Right. That's good.
So understand, when you having a conversation with God, ain't it disrespectful to out-talk the king? Now, we're talking about someone under authority. Let's be real here. You go into a courtroom, I guarantee you won't speak first. Why? Because you have to submit under authority. Now, God gives us permission to speak.
Yeah.
I think where we lack, I think where we're a little ignorant at is that we have to understand once we do our talking, then we must listen. We must be patient enough to listen. Because a lot of us are doing more venting than praying.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it's like, you know, when they used to tell you when you was in school, when you're going through something, just write it on some paper and then ball it up and throw it away. So we do that with our prayers. We just get it out. We need somebody to talk to. I think I'll talk to God about it.
Wow. That's good, Coach David.
You know, so I feel that when you start getting in your prayer closet, and what I'm doing now, y'all, is I'm giving y'all the solution to realize what your blessing look like, and you get many of them. You just got to recognize what are blessings and what's not, what's for you and what's not for you. Because I'm gonna pass the mic, because you know I can continue to keep going, so I'm gonna pass the mic.
Yeah. So, you know, just to expound on what you're saying, you know, the true blessings of God, if we think about it, Coach David, the true blessings are spiritual and not physical, right? So they come in the form of physical because we, you know, tangible because we have to touch it. But it starts in our, I can give you a few examples of myself. I can give you a few examples of you. But, of course, you had to work for it. So I'm going to quickly say what I have to say and then hand it back to you because I do want you to expound on this. After doing 13 years in federal prison, you came home and you were told to kind of settle for less. And you said, no, you've been studying the word for 13 years and you knew who you were. You knew what God's, the authority and the power of God. You knew exactly how to speak and really, you know, just how to speak to these things that you wanted. You just wasn't going to settle for less, right? And someone said, you're going to have to work at the Goodwill because that's what all people who come home from incarceration, that's what they do. It's the easiest thing for anyone to do. For them, that would have been your blessing, that you would come home and that you would find a job almost immediately, correct?
Yes.
What was the true blessing?
Yeah, they looking at me like I'm blocking my blessing if I don't go.
Come on.
But what you don't realize, I was blessed before I came home.
Come on.
But I recognized, here's the thing. When I went to prison and I matured while I was in prison, I realized I was still in America. I was just housed in another spot away from society for a specific reason. They put us in our own society together and see how we're going to cope with it and see how much our minds and brains are going to develop through this, what we would call trauma. They're going to see if you can handle this world, how good are you going to be in that society? Because a lot of us, it's more psychological. Because you see each other every day, you got to learn how to navigate, and you got to learn how to deal with different personalities on a daily basis. And now you don't have the guns and all that. Yes, you do have weapons that you make, but to get caught with it and to go to the hole, which is a jail inside the prison, it's like it's way too much. So when I became more mature, I started realizing the blessings that was inside that federal prison cell. You know, I was like, I never had a chance to weld. I can take a welding class. Wow, I never did HVAC. I'm going to learn this because I have the knowledge. I can get the knowledge. So I came home, I was certified welding, certified HVAC technician. So I wasn't going to sit up there and say, you know what, I'll take this. I'll appreciate you for looking out for me. But I have to decline because I know what's about to take place. Why? Because I realize I'm already in a position of blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Because the blessing was already there. Watch this. The blessing was there the whole time, but if I didn't apply myself and actually put in the work to go do it, then it wouldn't happen. I couldn't have took welding. I had to take welding serious to pass the class because it was a college course. I had to read my Bible every day, but I I had to discipline myself enough to do that. I prayed a lot. I fasted. I meditated. I did these things a lot. But it's going to take you consistency and maturity and open up your eyes and realize, okay, I'm blessed. I'm in federal prison. I don't want to be in federal prison, but while I'm here, that's right now.
Yeah.
So I wasn't just existing, I was living. Back to you, Coach Shay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people don't realize that they are not living, that they're just existing, and they're coping with the world's way of doing things. Again, the Bible reminds us to not be conformed by the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of our minds. And so the world is consuming a lot of us, and it is keeping us away from touching our blessing. You know how many for hire signs I drive past on a daily basis? And that equals the amount of people who are on the corner saying, I will work for food or I need money. And that's not to take away from the people that we see that way, but there are so many opportunities. Stores are closing down right now because a lack of help, lack of service. You know, restaurants that we frequent, the service is becoming bad because of no help. I say that to say that there's so many opportunities for you to be a blessing, not to just be blessed. I think we're forgetting that at this point in time in our lives that we can begin to be a blessing, which ultimately will cause us to be blessed.
Yeah.
When you can look outside of yourself for a second and just say, who can I help today? Because it's not all about us. And I think that's what we forget. We forget that it's not all about us. And maybe some of you didn't know it. So I'm going to tell you tonight, it's not all about you.
That's right.
I'm more blessed by giving people, giving, and giving. I'm more blessed. You know, you have a saying about the waitresses. We go out and we bless these waitresses because we know that's the only income that they may have. They have mouths to feed. But guess what? Something will turn around right in a second. The Cash App will come through.
Sure will.
So if you want to be blessed, I am going to encourage you, and my words of encouragement tonight before we go, to consider being a blessing. It's twofold. Blessing is in the work. You got to work it. But in order to be blessed, you have to be a blessing.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you for that, Coach Shay. You know, and I hope you men and women of God, kings and queens, I hope you guys really, really listen to this with an open ear, understand it's coming from a loving place. You know, one thing about this radio show right here, we're going to give you the hard truth. You know, it may hurt, but we're not here to tear you down. We're here to build you up. And we do want people, people have to restructure. Sometimes you have to restructure your thinking because we was taught a certain way. But just because we was taught a certain way doesn't mean that, there was something wrong with mom or dad or grandma. It's just certain things we was taught. We have to break free from certain ways because we have developed. Everything is about a development process. And now that your mind developed and your knowledge developed and your understanding developed, then you can say, okay, this is what that means. It helps you understand God more.
Yes.
And what God don't need us. God just loves us.
Yeah.
And that's just what we have to understand. Let's take life seriously, but take it seriously enough to live. And notice that blessings go through one another. We're right here for one another. You bless me, I bless you.
Yeah.
But we stand firm, we stand strong. Everybody have an interdependent relationship. Independent people that depend on one another. Have allies, love, care for one another. And you know what? We all know that God is the creator. He's the creation. And he loves us all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Elation. We love you, Elation. Shout out to Kenny Kim. Look, y'all come to the website, beyondthefence.org. That's BEYONDAFENCE.org. Y'all come to the website. We got music. Follow us. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. Find us. We're there. We love y'all. We thank you. Until next week. Peace. So where the music at? Where the music at?
Where the music at? Where the music at? Where the music at?
Where the